Hey, good evening, everyone. This is the regular monthly meeting of the Southwick Agricultural Commission. It is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. We do have a quorum with myself, Bert Hanson, Dan Cook, Zach Barnett, and online, Jen DePietro and Sage Fury. Hi, Jen. And also our support person, Cindy Barton. So we can get going. And I think we can just jump right into public comments, Jeff, for your project.
Sure. So I'm Jeff Smith. I work for Salvini Associates in Chester, and we're working with Lisa Chapman at 32 Hillside. And she has some property that is under 61A, and she would like to clear old overgrown field and plant Christmas trees and blueberries and other perennials in that area. There's a stream that flows through that field. And as far as being regulated under Wetlands Act, it's too small to be considered perennial or intermittent. So it just falls under, like, there's a 100-foot buffer.
Mhm.
And if we were staying out of that 100-foot buffer, the Conservation Commission would be out of it completely, but
Yeah.
we'd like to clear up to the top of the bank and get a lot of the invasive species out of there. And some dead trees and damaged trees that need to come out anyways.
Yeah. So you're thinking that the stream is too small to be even intermittent?
Right, so there's two ways of looking at it. Physically, it's a stream. All right.
Yep.
Groundwater seep comes down, it all collects together. And it goes down to Tuttle Brook, so it functions as a stream, but under the Wetlands Act, there's some thresholds that it has to meet. And one of them is a watershed size, a drainage size, and I can't remember, it's 1/10 of a mile. Square, 1/10 of square mile is the drainage area for that small stream. So
Okay.
it doesn't meet the regulatory threshold for a stream, but it does meet it as like a linear wetland feature. So there's a buffer zone attached to at least part of it.
Right.
And there is a clause in the Wetlands Protection Act that land used for agriculture and under chapter 61A is exempt from permitting. It doesn't mean you don't have to follow the rules. It doesn't mean they don't have to put erosion control up, but they don't have to do all the permitting. And there's, in my reading of it, there should be some lenience on the buffer zone that Southwick has a bylaw of a 50-foot no touch in their buffer zone. We'd like to.
Does that include invasives?
Well, removing the invasives is a good thing,
Yeah.
and the Conservation
Yeah.
Commission's on board with all of this,
Yeah, I would
but they'd
think
like
so.
us to do a permit for it, and we feel like that's. Kind of setting a precedent, like it says no permitting required, and we're trying to put a plan together that says we're gonna remove the invasives, we're gonna protect the stream, we're gonna replant along the stream with native vegetation. And then the rest of that area is gonna be used to grow Christmas trees and blueberries, so
Right.
what is your take?
Yeah, I
on
think
that?
I talked with Sabrina Pooler today. I think
Yep.
you've talked with her, right? And they did conservation did a site visit already,
Mhm.
right? A month
Yeah, I
ago.
met them out
They
there.
did,
Yeah,
yeah. I wasn't there, but
Yeah.
I was,
Ryan was
That's
there.
good.
Yeah.
Ryan's gonna be doing the work.
Yeah.
Okay,
So.
So that's a good step.
Yeah, right.
And I've already done, was that before snow, I think?
it was just before snow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
that's
think
good.
there was a couple inches when you and I went out there.
yeah, there was when we went there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I talked with Sabrina, and I think that the thing to do is what's called the RGA.
Yes,
uh,
that's what they're,
Request for determination.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, as I understand it, that's a fairly low bar, if that's the way to put it. I mean,
Yes.
it's less
Mhm.
less cumbersome, less administration than other
yes,
things you might do. So I think, that'd be Well, my thought is they should go ahead and just do that. And go through the steps in that document. And then get back to conservation and.
All right, so
So
you
that's what you're doing.
kind of agree with them on the RDA and that you don't think that it's a threshold that is gonna affect the other,
Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of their
I know,
jurisdiction.
and I have respect for them. I mean, I work with them and they're a good commission. Sabrina's sharp and um we're thinking that maybe we would be able to save the time and trouble of but we don't have a problem with doing an RDA. It's not cumbersome. It's not like a notice of intent. So,
Right, that's what.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, low bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, Yeah, so I think. I don't know, does anybody else have any
I mean, I think
thoughts on
they're
that?
planning to use it for agricultural use, so we should get behind them and.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely support the work,
There's some things with the state that they would, you got a permit through the state too, they would pay for it. They might even help you pay for it, getting rid of the invasive species and,
Mhm.
But that probably require a grant. That might take a while.
well,
Yeah,
you know, my father-in-law did it.
Yeah,
He actually made some money in it. Didn't have to spend all the money they gave him for it.
okay, so that's with the USDA and RCS there?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, cause we talked to
Yeah,
them,
okay.
yeah,
how long did that take, do you remember?
I want to say 6 months, maybe.
Yeah,
okay.
They had to come down and take a look at it and then they,
Mhm.
how quick are you trying to do this?
Well, the ground's hard now, so I
Yeah.
mean, I can get in there and do it with minimal ground disturbance now where, you know, say March 3rd, and we have the next
Yeah,
conservation meeting,
makes
that's gonna
sense.
be an issue because it's gonna be slop in there and it's a, you know, not so much the work scale, but there's gonna be a lot more footprint getting in there.
Mhm.
And that's what we're trying to avoid, you know? I mean, we could be planting in the spring, get in there and do it now while the ground is hard and,
Right.
you know, get it under control that we can replant first thing in the spring.
Mhm.
That's the
that really
idea,
is
but.
a very good point that he brings up, and I kind of overlooked
Mhm.
mentioning that, but yes, being able to do it while the ground is frozen is gonna be
Huge.
a lot.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
best
I
time
mean-
to cut trees.
Yeah, cause everything we're taking out there, it's either dead ash, dead elm. There is a couple cottonwoods that are in there that are gonna stay. There's some white oaks and some hickories that she doesn't wanna clear cut it. She wants to selectively thin. So anything dead or invasive, like as you know about the emerald ash borer, Dutch elm disease, nothing survived that. So all that she wants out, she wants to replant.
With the little bit of a tangent, but with the ash borer, are there regulations about what you can do with that wood? Once.
Probably can't cross state lines with it. Yeah, you can't leave the state with it. You can't
Yeah.
cross into Connecticut, which we wouldn't be
Right, you
anyways.
can burn it locally.
Yeah,
But you can't.
most of it's so dry now, you can light it with a match the day you cut it down, you know? It's one of the most dangerous trees there is. I mean, I was up there Sunday and there was a top blew out of one and was laying in the road that you and me parked on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, besides just, it's a safety hazard in there at this point too. It's just all blown down and she just wants to selectively thin and conservation is on board with it. I mean, they saw what we were kind of presenting and they agreed with it, so.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
Is she living at that property?
she is, yep, she lives up above there and she was really hoping to have this rock and rolling by the spring, but. You know, like the next conservation meeting is March 3rd and that's, as we know, where it's gonna be an issue with the ground then.
could
Could
be,
be.
maybe not.
Could be, we're threading the needle though,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like now I
Only
can
like-
get in
like
and do it,
2
but
weeks or whatever.
yeah, right, right.
You
But
know-
conservation didn't actually take a vote or.
No,
Or.
no, they're kind of, I think they're expecting us to bring in an RDA, but I think I may. That point is like the most important point about the ground being frozen right now, and if I point that out, so I'll talk to Sabrina about it. If, I don't know, can you write some kind of a short letter stating that you think it would be the best to get it done early? We're not
Yes.
trying to. We would follow any conditions that they wanted to put on as far as erosion control,
Mhm.
but. Really, the key is,
Yeah.
you don't wanna do it in mud season.
Mhm. And that's what it's gonna be.
I don't think that would be out of line for us.
Yeah, so I think what we can do is,
We did something similar with Dave Prifty.
yeah,
Mm.
you know, we can vote to support the project, like subject to conservation approval or something like that, so. So you'd be good with us, so you wouldn't have to come back to another meeting of ours.
Okay,
Um,
Cause we really don't have any teeth.
yeah,
But either way, all we can do is sit up.
yeah,
Right.
it's really,
Okay.
as we were saying, it's really
Yeah.
their call.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
but, like you said, Jeff, I mean, it seems I've talked to a couple of people on conservation, they both. Dennis Clark and.
Yeah.
Karina.
everybody that was there agreed, you
Yeah.
know, it's like, it's unusable, it's all bittersweet, the vines are choking everything. I mean, she wants us to thin all the bittersweet vines out of the white oak trees that are still standing.
Wow.
She wants us to cut them all out, she wants to like get the property really under control, so.
Yeah,
She got big
Most people just say
visions.
Cut the tree down because it's got. those-
No, she wants like spider lift in there, removing vines, you know,
Mhm.
she wants to do it right, so
Yeah.
she's.
Yeah, but good trees, keep them.
Yeah, they are, and there's some hickories, and I'm gonna go through and mark everything that's staying beforehand. But
She'll be fighting that bittersweet for the next 50.
I know, it's tough to get it under control. I think the only thing worse is Japanese ragweed. That's the only thing I know worse.
So what can this motion be? That the Agricultural Commission supports the work and
Agrees with their plan.
agrees with the plan. And give we don't make the decision, but.
Right,
Is this a copy of your plan?
Yeah, I can,
I think
actually,
at least,
I
like-
brought 4
Look at
copies
it
here,
first.
so
Oh, yeah, okay.
5 members or 4?
Popcorn.
I think 4, all right.
Yeah.
One,
Works
two,
the way.
That's what I read
three,
before we go down.
4. Sorry, I should have put these as a bundle, but that's the assessor's map of the site.
Okay.
There we go. And this, I don't know if you read it or not, is the instrument that goes in their deed that says, it's under chapter 60.
Well, I gotta say, you're being very thorough here.
Well, I'm a little embarrassed. I didn't think of the frozen ground thing, but that's good.
That's what you have, Brian.
Well,
That's the.
That's why I have a professional, yeah. But I do think it's a really good thing. I think the field is, I mean, it's not like a forest area that they're cutting all the trees out. It's an overgrown field. It was probably pasture.
it was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I know years ago there were beavers living down there. Are they still around?
at the either the north or the west end.
There's a route down where the shark turn is. at the
Yes,
bottom.
Mhm.
that's where it
Yeah.
goes into Tuttle Brook.
Yeah.
And that's that's an actual wetland down
Yeah,
there.
right.
And then Tuttle Brook is an actual regulated stream.
And we're at least 200 yards from that at the.
I was gonna
maybe
say
further.
500 feet.
Yeah,
So yeah, 250 yards, yep.
yeah, we're not anywhere near that.
And she doesn't wanna change the pasture or the hay field there. That's all the hay field.
Yeah.
Gonna keep that for
We're gonna
hay, the
keep-
guy that
yeah.
cuts it.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep letting him cut it. They're gonna keep the
So
mature
it's-
part of the forest.
Left side here in this area.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly, that kind of the
Yep.
lower part of the center strip of the property.
And it's not the whole wooded patch there. There's a hill that comes in and she wants to keep that hill as the privacy buffer. There's nothing really invasive up in there and the pines and everything else. She wants to keep that between her and the neighbor. It's just the lower side of it.
Yeah.
It really runs, the brook runs right through the center of it.
Yeah, the house is really nice.
Yeah, and they did a great job.
They've done a nice job.
Yeah, they cleaned that property
Yeah,
up a
that
lot.
barn used to look pretty bad.
Yeah, it's beautiful now. They've done a great job with that place.
How many acres is there altogether?
The
Enough?
total property is 18
Yeah.
something. They wanna work on about 2.5 acres.
Mhm.
I meant to mention too, one issue is that, changing the use of the land. I mean, I think that
Mhm.
generates the need for the RDA partly.
That could be
Yeah,
the crux of it, and she did bring that up, and we were looking at it as, all right, it's maintenance of the property, it's improving the property. Now, it maybe used to be a dairy farm, so that's a different thing than
Right.
horticultural,
Is
but
there a barn still standing?
Yeah.
on the property?
Silos, yep,
Oh, wow, nice.
yep.
but yes, they may hold us on that because,
It was cleared 20 years ago, that
yeah,
property
I
was
went back
cleared.
as
It's
far
all
as I
20
could
year
on aerial
regrowth.
and you could see it developing, growing in. Over the days of aerial imagery, but I never found one that where it was cleared like the hayfield, but
Do you know if it was ever used for agricultural use, the actual water?
I assume cattle. and
just
something,
cattle probably,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because when Dave's property, they said they couldn't really restrict it because it was originally used for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's not trying to change the
Right.
course of the stream or even using
Yeah,
the
you can really
stream.
touch it.
You really couldn't count on it because I would guess that probably dries up in the summer.
Most
So,
likely, yeah.
Yeah,
They just wanna stay away from it for erosion and.
yep,
Fit
Mhm.
holds together.
right.
oh, so Jeff, I'm seeing here you're a professional wetland scientist.
I
No
am.
wonder you're very thorough with all this stuff.
That's why I brought him in.
That's great. Excuse me.
I used to work in a machine shop and I got sick of looking out the window, wishing I was outside. It's smelling like oil.
Good for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we support the plan as presented for 32 Hillside Road by Salvini Associates and Jeff Smith. Subject to Conservation Commission approval, and that we encourage the Conservation Commission to expedite the process as much as possible.
I second.
That'd be
the motion.
phenomenal.
That sounds great.
Mhm.
Do a roll call vote. Bert Hanson, aye. Zach Bradley, Anita Over.
Aye.
Dan Cook,
Aye.
Jen DePietro.
Oh,
I
that's
can
it.
speak. I think
It's on delete or it's mute.
yeah, I think I see you. You're
Hi,
saying.
sorry about that.
And Sage Fury.
Aye.
Okay. So it's unanimous, and I'll put together a letter to the Conservation Commission saying what
Okay,
we just said. And yeah, so
all right. Do you have my email or,
I
it
don't,
might be at the end of the letter. I think it
let's
is.
see,
So, yeah.
we have Salvini.
Yeah, we might need you some
Yeah,
night down here.
it's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jeff S. at
Yep.
Salvini Associates.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right,
That'd be great. Yeah, I don't have any cards with me, sorry.
that's right. We got. Do you need all this stuff back? I'm assuming?
No,
No?
no,
Oh, no?
no,
Okay.
that's,
We should probably, and
For your-
like, keep
Keep
one
At least
for
one copy
reference,
with
yeah.
the minutes.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
okay.
if anybody does have any questions or anything, you can email me or call me, numbers there.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I appreciate your time and
Absolutely.
Oh,
Thanks for coming in as well.
you're welcome.
Taking
So I
the,
think,
doing the
I
right
just had a
steps.
question. Sorry, did you still need a letter from us? Like, do we need to draft a letter? Would that help you?
Oh, yeah.
Is it something that we're gonna do? Okay,
Yeah.
and we could sign it. Okay.
Hmm?
I just wanted to know, make sure that didn't get overlooked. But okay.
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's good. And we'll just hope that it stays cold for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until March 3rd.
Christmas trees and blueberries, we can't wait.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It'd be nice.
Sounds good.
It's gonna be nice. You got ideas for flower gardens and all kinds of things in
Cool.
there.
Nice,
It's gonna
That's a
be
nice
beautiful.
property, so.
It's gonna be beautiful and sun.
Yeah, nice.
that's what we
Okay.
wanna keep Southwick.
Yep. Oh, I totally supported the project, but she brought me up there. I was like, this is phenomenal. You know? And our place already looks amazing, but to see, you know, bringing it back to farmland like that, it's even better. you know?
Mhm, mhm. Okay.
thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Guys,
Yeah,
Nice to meet y'all.
Nice to meet you. Thanks,
Sure.
thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
I'm gonna eat one of these.
Right
What machine shop do you work at, sir?
I worked at Osley and Whitney in Westfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I worked at Berkshire Industries years ago.
over on Apremont.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? When I first got out of high school, I worked at Westfield Grinding right next to that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
that's still standing, still
yeah,
there.
Yeah, is Berkshire, isn't that
Berkshire,
like a
they closed their
brewing company
doors.
now?
They closed.
Great
yeah.
Awakening Brewing or something like that, or Bright Ideas Brewing or something,
I don't know.
yeah. anyways.
They leased the building out to different.
Yeah.
A bunch of different companies.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Okay, thanks very much.
Yeah,
Good
have a
Take care.
good night.
Drive safe.
So, I just want to get some thoughts on the Farmers Forum. It was a little bit, fewer people than has been. We've had 30, 35, and we had about 15 or somewhere in there.
It was cold though.
I think it was the
cold.
weather.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah, it really, yeah.
Um. But I think it was good. One thing that was good about it is that the meeting, the sort of the agenda got over. And there was a whole bunch of time for the farmers to just talk to each other,
Yeah,
which is,
Yeah.
so I think we should,
I feel like there's more interaction this year.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I agree with that. That's
Make
great.
sure we have open time on the agenda, or however you want.
Yeah.
So that can be built in each time we do it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe our next year forum, our fourth annual, we've been moving a little bit in this direction, but maybe even more emphasis on education of people coming. And so it's not just, the hay rides and the pony rides and the free ice cream at Calabrese and, that kind of stuff, but that there's actually, so maybe we've talked a little bit, I think, about the farms having their story, having maybe their ancestry and, just so people clue people in to, so they understand more about what our farmers are doing.
I was actually had a thought to maybe get a guest speaker or something to come in,
Oh,
Jim Putnam or something. I mean, he did an awesome job. That other thing.
yeah.
For the forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
When I was at Calabrese, they had a video of their farmland and with music behind it, they built a presentation on a TV for people to see. And I thought that was pretty cool. It was like done by a drone. They really put a lot of work into it and it was great. I wish it had more of a presentation where people were able to see it in an area of that, in that area, highlighted
Wow.
it, but
Yeah, I was there. I didn't notice.
yeah, I know. It was on the table by the raffle. So
Yeah.
it was like just a regular smart TV that was
Yeah.
playing in a loop, and
Yeah.
it had all kinds of information about their generational, farming and things like that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So next year we need like a jumbotron.
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe I don't know, maybe a big screen or like a projector. I don't know, but it was great that they had that and they put that together about to show everybody. So
Yeah, and
maybe
actually
helping.
saying that the B-side farm on North Long Yard, they do a video thing and they make some. I think they're making milkshakes with some local milk, stuff like that. So, yeah. I'm just realizing that I've been very remiss not to introduce our guests. Deb Humphries,
That's 'cause-
I'm Sue Braska. Maybe you all even know each other already, I don't know. But, Deb, you have a kind of a homestead
Yeah,
type of farm?
Yeah. it's for us. but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you do there?
Well, we feed ourselves a lot.
Okay.
We're clearing more space because we had purchased land from our neighbor and it was wooded, but it was not like wooded. They had already had it cut, so there was just junk on it. And
Hmm.
so little by little, we keep opening up more fields, so I have more space to plant. And we have about 100 blueberry bushes that I put in like 8 years ago. So they're really starting
So
to
you should
produce.
get, yeah. okay,
Now, I
yeah.
do sell to
Mhm.
some people that I know that, people
What'd you say that address was? I can
that
sneak over. and
sneak
get some
over there.
blueberries.
And we're putting up elderberries. we've been propagating elderberries, we have, a fig house we're working on. We have the figs, and we have the frame, we just haven't got it all covered yet, so that we can grow figs. I do get some figs off of it, but the season is too short and
I was gonna say, it's not like.
we're right on the very edge
Like
of
a
it.
Mediterranean-
Lena's got a few figs too,
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
but we've got
I
like.
was saying,
my
Isn't
fig-
that more like a Mediterranean crop?
Well, it can take, I mean, many of them can take, they can get almost to zero, some of them, and not die back. But
Really?
that 7 below we had a few weeks ago may not have liked it, but I've got them packed in leaf bags, which helps to
Yeah.
keep them, but, you know, I've been getting them bigger. I mean, you start with a little piece this big, a little teeny piece of twig, and I mean, they're now good sized bushes, and so we've got like 35 or 36 of those in the big house, and we keep adding. We have chickens and eggs for egg, our eggs, our ducks and chickens, and
Yeah.
so yeah, we're working on it. It's mostly to feed us,
Mm.
you know, and family,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's getting there. When my son Mark isn't working at Lanita's, which he's been there for, oh, 19 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
was
don't
talking
know
to
the
just
exact number, but-
an aside, but I was talking to Katie when I was in there
Yeah,
recently and. She's been there 20 something,
Yeah.
and so then she
Mhm.
starts rattling off all these employees, who've been
Yeah.
there like a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good retention there.
Yeah, when we got hit by wage and hour, they were amazed at the employee retention.
Yeah,
They don't see that.
right,
So-
right, wow. Good for you. Um,
So that's what we do. We just, you know,
Yeah.
it's just for us.
Yep.
So this year's the year of the raspberries. I decided, I had some, but I want more. There just aren't enough ever, so
yeah, right.
I'm putting in a bunch of raspberries, and
Yeah.
we've got fruit trees, and
How much
Yeah.
land do you have planted?
we only plant, well, it's kind of weird because it's all over the place, you know, on the thing, probably not more than an acre and a half or 2 acres, maybe 2 acres with the blueberries and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of all over the place. In different places. We've got the fields where we put the vegetables and stuff, but we put in we plant quite a bit for stuff. We probably do usually between 2,000 and 3,000 onions. Cause we eat that many in a year.
No kidding.
Yeah, we're big onion eaters. They're really good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's just me. I'm diabetic and sometimes it decides it needs to yell at me.
Oh,
And probably is yelling at me that. "Come on, be quiet."
You need a brownies.
No, I didn't have a brownie. Sometimes it just gets off when I'm like, it registers off. So, but yeah, we put in a lot for that. This year I went up to 500 garlic because we used to do about 200 and it's not enough. But Rachel, my son's girlfriend, loves garlic, so we're going through garlic like crazy. I'm like, I better like really double this at least, so. Yeah, we just,
Well,
it's good.
pretty impressive. 2,000 or 3,000 onions.
Kind of onions. What kind of onions?
Oh, a variety.
Okay,
we-
so
we
some
do-
purple and some white ones and
We do sweet ones,
yellow or.
we do Walla Wallas and we do a couple other early big sweet ones, but then the most we do is Pattersons, which are. I like them for keeping. They will go all year long. I can keep them without sprouting usually, like sitting outside on my screen porch. With that's
Well,
plasticed in
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's or in the garage. They'll last. Right
Wow.
through till the next onions. That's the goal. The garlic won't always go the whole distance, but. If I have to, I'll freeze them. I cook them and freeze them so that I've got them.
Yeah.
For that, but we do, winter squash and stuff. Someday we'll have a root cellar, but for now we just use the cold garage and it works pretty good. So, and lots of freezers and I can and put up a lot of stuff.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
That's a dying trade right there.
It
Remember
is.
my grandmother used to do that.
I learned from my grandmothers. So, and actually, we're doing some at the library. I did a homestead thing in December and then we did last week, we did plan your garden. We had 8 extremely excited people.
Hmm.
That we had, 2 people came from Chicopee to see it, but, you know, we went over how to plan out a garden, so they could plan and get seeds ordered and, you know, things to take into consideration. It was a good group, so we're gonna have, the librarian was booking me dates for March. I think we were gonna go with the 11th. It was a Monday she had open.
Mhm.
And then April 2nd. So we'll be doing some other things as the season goes along, just to get people to be enthused about planting or what to do. And, you know, we were gonna go over seeding inside compared to outside and a bunch of other, you know, things like that. And I figured we'd go over natural pesticides and a bunch of stuff. In the comings, if we do once a month. You know, it just.
Yeah.
I felt it was important to do something
Yeah.
that people might need help with, and
And I'm sure you'll be involved with the plant swap, in May, I think that is. Did you talk to
Oh,
Ken about that?
yeah, I haven't, I know they're having one.
Hmm.
The food pantry did bring over trays, cause they have a program, Plant a Row. Where you
Yes,
plant a
right.
row in your garden and then you give the, you know, so that you give some to the food pantry.
Right.
And they said it goes very well, so she brought over a bunch of flats and stuff that they had gotten on a grant program, so they're waiting at the library till we do the March one, because that's when people will be seeding. And so we'll present that too, that they can take the flats and, you know, it's just, they tell you how to go about it, and if you wanna, that way, if you have excess, you can donate it to the food pantry. For that, so, and I actually talked to the food pantry lady when she was dropping them off, and I asked her if she ever taught people how to like put up some of the food if they had excess. And she's like, nope. I said, well, you might wanna do that, have a class where you could teach the people, cause I mean, they're trying to use it all quickly. And sometimes they don't use it, and I thought, well, if you just taught them how to freeze it or can it, they could tuck away, cause she said in the summer, sometimes they have like so many tomatoes given or so many zucchini given.
Yeah.
And I said, well, people should learn how to put it up so that they can be eating it off season. So she said she was gonna talk to the director. The woman I talked to said she was gonna talk to the director and see if they were interested in.
Right.
In something,
That's great that you're doing
So-
that.
I had a question.
Yeah, Jeff.
It's great that you're teaching about it too, because there's a lot of people that are interested in learning, you know what I mean? I think that's awesome, because I need to learn, obviously, but I have a small garden here and I tried to do something at the community garden, but it didn't work out last year. We had a lot of rain. But my question is, would you be interested in, because we're talking about, you've probably heard that we were talking about a after school program for the kids. We're kind of trying to get something going together at the library, and I was wondering, I don't know if you would be interested in helping with educating the kids after school, and it would be at the library. And I didn't know if that's something that.
that's something I taught science
Oh,
and
cool.
elements. I was a teacher.
That's
So
awesome. That's great. That's great.
it helps for, you know, being able to plan out lessons and things for that. But yeah, I would be interested in, you know, seeing what the time frame is on it and stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have loads of time, but
Right
in off
now.
season, I have time. It's, you know, summertime gets really busy. I find with
Mhm.
kids and gardens, it's hard. I actually did one when I was teaching in West Springfield. I actually created, that was back in like 2001. They had courtyards, and I turned an entire courtyard with my students, and they were 7th graders, into it wasn't just a garden, it was a perennial garden, but it was a learning space. So they did math out there. We had all kinds of lesson plans that they could go out into the courtyard and have lessons, so that even though you were still inside the building, there was sunshine and air. Because it was,
That's very cool.
it was a cool thing that we did with the kids, but it was hard because you can't do a lot of summer things with if that's the school is involved, because the school isn't available at that time. But if the library does it, then they can run it in the summer.
Sure.
as an extra thing.
Yeah, just in a sort of a nutshell, been talking with Lynn at the library about, well, we talked as a group, how do we get to the kids better? You know, can we get a program in the schools? And then I learned that the library has a teen hangout, 2 Fridays a month. So I asked Lynn, hey, can we come to the teen hangout? And I'm not sure what we would bring to it, but she said, well, you know, they have video games and all this stuff going on.
It's tough with teens.
So
They're not as interested
Yeah.
in, the little ones are usually
Yeah.
interested, but
So she thinks we
teens
should.
are a tough
Yeah,
crowd.
right, but she thinks we should do something separate, not try to go
Right,
to the teen
Right.
hangout, but have an actual program. So that's what Jan is talking about. Potentially you could help us with.
yeah, I'd be interested in,
That's
you
awesome.
know,
It's still
Uh,
early in the and planning and things like
Yeah.
that, like Bert was saying, but that's great. We appreciate that, and I'm sure we'll.
kids who want to learn, that's how they'll learn, because my son hated school. Mark, who works on the farm, hated school, and he would come home after school and I would say, what did you learn in science today? And he'd go, I don't know, they're talking about like flowers and stuff. And so we would go outside and we would do the whole lesson over again. And this was before I was even a teacher. And then he was like, why didn't they just say so? But he wasn't getting it in a classroom, but he was getting it outside, if we were outside in it. And he did much better learning that way. So some kids do, if they're interested, getting them actually into a space where they're working with something is, where they see it happening, it definitely clicks.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Right.
Thank you.
And well, so we're still on introductions here, even though we're halfway through the
Sorry,
meeting.
I paused.
So Steve Broska,
Not as interesting.
a longtime member of the Board of Health, though, right?
Yeah,
And
we own farmland in Southwick. My family bought it in 1915. We used
Wow.
to raise tobacco and potatoes and had some dairy. In fact, the land they're talking about was my relative's land, and they also had tobacco and dairy also.
Okay.
And then after the 55 flood, said forget the tobacco, and they just did dairy. And then my father retired in the 1980s, and the land was rented out to Double MB. And then now Turnbull and Agawam rents the hay land.
oh,
And we, for gardening, we are in charge of the apple booth at the Big E, and we're involved in like 3-4-H groups. And we grow now gourds to sell, to donate to the apple booth to sell.
Oh, cool.
So we basically don't have much of a garden anymore because we just took it over with all the gourds.
Gourds get big, yeah.
yeah.
That explains how Sue and Manthe
Yeah. they-
ended up in
they
the
work-
apple booth.
They work for us, yeah, they volunteer.
Yeah, Cindy Barton was telling me today that you spend you're at the Big E pretty much
Every
start to
single-
finish.
Yeah, morning to night,
Yeah.
7 days, and even before that. And then my husband works there
Yeah.
all year.
Well, I saw your daughter on.
My daughter
It was
is,
the news.
my daughter is the marketing director. She's in charge of the marketing department.
Oh,
And she's in charge of the entertainment. It's her company is an entertainment company, Mellowship. And they contracted Mellowship her to be the marketing director, so she wears 2 hats.
Yeah, I think I'd seen her. I'm like, David, that's, I said, you know her from church. She was a little girl. She's not anymore.
that's
So-
great. So a lot of 4-H work. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been on the Board of Health.
Yeah.
On and off since 1981, and I'm gonna not run this year.
So Sue's thinking about joining agriculture and so is Deb, obviously, that's why they're here.
Mhm.
See how the meetings go. Okay, so back to the Farmers Forum. I'm sorry, I was mixed up there for a while. I was talking about an educational focus and I was thinking about Open Farm Day. Not the Farmers Forum. So yeah, and a guest speaker, Zach, that's a great idea. Figure out who would be a good, like a draw.
Yeah.
The major concern that they seemed to have was about the chapter 61. Have we asked or inquired about a speaker on that for them at all?
Not yet, and I think we want to do that sooner than later. In other words, not wait for next year's forum, but do that pretty soon, because I mean, these guys tonight, you know, it's about what can you do and not do under chapter 61, you know?
Yeah,
Who do you have to talk to? So,
Well, and if you want people in town to like save their land. I mean, I know that's what everybody would like, is for everybody to save their land and just have it be farmland. I guess the more information that people could have about different things you can do with it, the better it is to encourage people to do something with it.
yeah, um. That's a great program idea. I don't know about the forum, because that would be more for the public, I would think, the sort of the non-farmers, about how to preserve land and different kinds of land uses. Is that
You
what
could just
think?
open it up, I would think, to
Yeah,
anybody,
yeah.
and there'd be, I would think a lot of people who maybe have moved to town more recently, like the last 20 years, not been here forever, and maybe have a piece of land and don't really know what to do with it.
Yeah,
You know, if they knew, if you could put it, I mean, because some people have theirs in recreation. And, but I don't always know that people, I didn't, I started having to really hunt to see what what people do with it. And, you know, when people were APRing a lot, that was different, but I mean, from what I had heard, good luck with getting any money from that, it had dried up. That wasn't coming through very fast anymore, people said it was taking forever now to do that, because I had talked with, Jack Fellman.
Mhm.
Cause he knows a lot about that, and he and I went to school together, so I had asked him about some of that, and he's like, yeah, the money had slowed way down from what it was years ago. But, you know, like that, there was that gentleman that was here that had bought land up by the ranch golf course, and he said he had over 100 acres of land.
yeah, Mike Mastriani, I think. his
Yeah,
name is.
it might be his name.
Yeah, and I forget whose farm that used to be. He told me, but yeah, yeah.
But no, not, I mean, he'd be somebody who I'm sure would be interested
Right.
in what are options and what.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, yeah.
so
he's
is
a-
that something that we would go to the state about, or the town, or like to find somebody in the town to? Or,
I'm thinking more like the state, you know,
yeah.
MDR,
Okay,
somebody there, so I'll find that out, because we have a regional person, used to be Tina Smith, and now it's the guy's name I can't think of. Start with M maybe, and then get to MDR.
Great.
If
Yeah.
you wanted more things for the farm day, where you wanted more like visual stuff, is there anybody in town that might do, I mean, cause I know not everybody has the technology and the equipment and the capability to
Right.
produce something like that. Where if somebody was helping, I mean, like, I don't, Katie probably could fiddle around and do stuff, but I mean, I'm trying to think even, I mean, there isn't too many, like, other than maybe Katie, who would go, hey, I could maybe pull that off, but you have to know what you're doing to
Right.
film that, and then
Right.
quite often you need a drone thing to
Right.
come into
Yeah.
it, but I wonder if there is somebody that would donate their time or wanna work on something that might help the farms to create an educational piece that they could then run.
Might be able to get someone to do it like pro bono as like a tax write-off,
Yeah,
instead of it coming out of our budget.
right.
Or somebody from the college, somebody
Yeah.
that's working
Yeah,
on
yeah,
a project or something, they might. I mean, that would be a cool thing to say, hey, I created these for farms or whatever. I just find that we all don't have the same talents, and
Right.
sometimes the ideas are great, but it's like, I don't know if I could, That's not really my thing, or, you know.
Well, and having the time
And
to.
And having the time
it's
to,
time
it's a
consuming.
it's a big project, it's a big project, and if you've got somebody that has the equipment and the technology, it's a much easier project if somebody comes in and helps out, but
Sure,
it might be a good thing if somebody could find somebody that would volunteer.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
somebody that has that talent.
yeah. We have some resources like that, like Angie Simone and what's her husband's first name? Jagger. Anyway, and Tom.
Jason.
Jason, yeah. And Tom Jadosh, you know, here he seems to have a lot of capabilities there, so we'll see what we can do. So I guess anything else on the Farmers Forum?
Maybe advertise it more next year.
Yeah, it definitely needs to get on all the Southwick Facebook sites. 'Cause
Yeah,
that
Angie
is-
was doing a lot of that, so that kind of dropped off, I think.
Yeah,
It seemed
Yeah,
like
we
it
need-
kind of snuck up on us a little
Yeah.
bit.
yeah. Yeah, we need a new social media person. To just
I hate
get on
social
those
media.
forums and. But.
I said I hate social media.
I still think it's the weather, because there was a couple people.
There was definitely the
those
weather.
Flyers too,
Yeah,
and they were gonna come, Mike Solak was coming.
yeah.
Yeah, Dave
Yeah,
didn't
a couple
come.
guys told me they were coming, they didn't come home.
Yeah, same here,
It was the
yeah.
weather. Cause it was cold as hell.
Yeah, weather hasn't been our friend this past year.
It's been real winter.
Finally,
Yes, yeah.
we got 10 years off.
We've been used to that 40-degree,
Yeah.
30-degree.
Yeah, what's with winter starting in February? What's up with that?
I actually think it's snowing right now as we speak.
Yes. Let's see, I'm gonna skip ahead for a second and just talk a minute about the budget. You know, there's all the boards and commissions have an annual meeting with a joint meeting with the select board and the finance committee to go over your budget. That's going to be Saturday, March 8th. And our time is 8:35. And I always get a kick out of this because every year so far, we get 10 minutes and conservation only gets 5. So we'll see what they do this year. I did submit the budget on January 24th, as requested, and they requested, level funding and a 5% decrease in the budget. So, now in our case, 5% is $135. So our entire budget is only 2,700, so. And, you know, pretty much the same.
Is there a reasoning why we get decreased?
I don't know for sure. I think they're thinking maybe less state money coming in or, you know, less tax revenue. I'm not sure.
Did we
We
use
raise a
all?
lot of money for ourselves.
Did we use it all?
Yeah.
The whole budget?
We used most of our
Regular.
approved budget, where we have a lot of money in the gift account. You know, like $3,000.
Mhm.
So, and the thing is though, that as Nicole Parker came to a meeting a couple meetings ago, and that money is gifted, but we are supposed to use it for what the person gave it for. You know, we just can't take money out of the gift account and buy a tractor, you know, or something.
Do we know what all that was?
We need.
We need a tractor for farm day.
Yeah. So most of the money that's in the gift account is sponsorships from local businesses for Farm Day.
For Farm Day, so we should be using that on Farm Day.
We should be, and it's,
But the community garden also gets funded.
yes,
funds it,
right, gets
so.
some funds from there, so that's kind of a little bit of a glitch and partly my bad. I'm not sure how to tell the accounting department
I mean,
take things out of the gift account.
there would almost need to be like sub accounts, like this money can only go to this money
Yeah.
can only go to
Yeah.
that. I don't know how we
Yeah,
separate that.
so I'm gonna talk to them about it.
We need a treasurer.
Yeah, yeah. And Cindy suggested maybe having somebody from accounting come to our next meeting and just, answer a few questions and.
It's not a terrible idea.
Yeah, tell us how to do it.
Yeah,
I am a treasurer for my union, just saying. But not, I've done
Just volunteer.
record booking, I'm not an accountant, but I am a treasurer right now for the union.
Can we create that position?
Then you're gonna have many hats.
Um. I mean, I don't know if we need an official treasurer, but I don't see why we couldn't
I mean, if she wants to dive into it,
casually ask Jen to keep track of
yeah.
our money.
Can she get those documents or like?
I get them and I certainly can forward them or get
Okay.
you on the.
Of course,
distribution.
we'd have to talk about it, and if everybody agrees, of course. I mean, if it's, I'm just saying that I've been the treasurer for since 2010, so I mean, I do have official documents and things like that, and control of the bank account and stuff like that. So obviously, everybody has to agree if they want me to do that, but just putting it out there for future.
I don't think anyone's saying
I don't think there's gonna be any nays there.
Yeah, I agree.
Fighting for it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think we'd be better off if we knew where the money should go.
We're,
Yeah,
when are we getting like
More money.
this next month, amount of money?
oh, well, the budget goes by the fiscal year, so our current budget ends June 30th and our next one starts July 1st. So,
Do we have any money left in the budget?
not much.
Well, we have plenty in the gift account.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just
you-
suggesting about fence posts, a couple
Oh,
more.
Well, that
Yeah.
should come out of the gift account though, from the money we get
There
from.
we go. Cause we got so many now. Would you get 12?
Yeah,
You can get, if we have enough money,
Yeah,
cause this spring we're gonna have a big work. Garden work.
yeah.
thing.
We do have, we bought all those and that actually came out of, that was last fiscal year. So we still have $500 in the community garden
We
account.
get,
So-
get some more,
We
just
should get
so-
Yeah, I think
yeah, I'm
I
just.
think all
suggesting.
those posts and those stakes, what do they call those, to go in the ground, I think that was less than $500. I think it
Well,
was.
that'd be great if we get another
400.
12, we could do
Yeah.
2 sides.
Yeah,
I do agree that they should have like a separate accounts, one for use for general purposes and then one for use with the sponsors' money that they want it to go somewhere specific, that's definitely very important because we don't want to misuse or,
your mark.
yeah.
And plus, if we don't use that money, they take it.
Not from the gift account.
Not the gift.
No, no,
our
No,
regular,
our main
$500, if
Yeah,
we don't
they'll
use it,
take
it
it.
goes back into the general
Right,
fund.
so let's take it now when we can. I can keep it with the others.
Yeah.
Throwing it out there.
Yeah, okay, well, that's pretty easy to do, just same order, it goes through,
Is there anything else we're gonna need to buy before July 1st?
yeah,
maybe make a list up and.
yeah. Off the
Go from
top,
there.
What is it, 30th of June it ends? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so we got.
We got a long time.
Buy them before then, or anything we want to
Well,
spend.
you probably, if we're gonna do the fence, we wanna do it like.
But we're gonna
probably
be doing in the spring, like
in the spring,
April,
like
May.
after the
or
ground
something.
thaws.
Right.
So we need to get it.
Yeah.
Be good to get it a couple months ahead of time, just to have
Sure.
it.
Okay,
We got the water tanks, we got the pump.
Yep.
It should be flowing with water.
Yeah, you guys did a lot of work last right at the end of the season, so nice work on that.
so we can just go through building and grounds, it's Hillary Gilday, who's here in town hall, she takes care of them, so she has the account with
Would I be?
Home Depot and just go through.
Home
her,
Depot or-
Yeah. And get them again.
So our money just transfers to her department or?
She just kind of places the order. It's
Okay,
Still our
gotcha.
our
This comes right out of
our
ours.
budget, but yeah.
Do you fill up the community garden every year with people?
No, it's about, there's 27 plots and there's usually 6 or 7 or 8.
3/4 of it's pretty
Yeah.
much filled.
Yes. So it's fine, yeah, that's 3/4 of it is,
Some of the
A lot
plots,
of people still don't know.
I
yeah.
think too, I know my sister, she lives at Depot Court now. And they were actually talking about wanting, they have some sort of a group now that Steve Brzezinski is the head of, and, because like it's not a renters group, because you're at the elderly housing, but it's to represent the needs of the people there, and they had brought up, several of them had brought up wanting to put in a garden there, because a lot of the people don't drive
Yeah.
or don't have cars. So they had wanted some sort of a garden space there. So that's something they're trying to figure out. Because my sister had said, well, I know there's a community garden, but so many of the people don't have vehicles
Yeah,
to drive that they wouldn't be able to go all the way down there. And they need
Right.
something closer to
mhm.
where they
Where-
are.
Where would you put a garden at Depot Court? I'm thinking of,
There's land in the back.
there is, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there is. That you could do. You could even, my sister lives on the east side. The building's on the east side. And there's a strip of grass the whole day between Phelps's the old Phelps property. And the driveway, there's a bunch of grass. I mean, you could plant in there, but there are some toward the back. There's some
Yeah.
flatter space back there, I guess.
And sunlight, is there sunlight? good?
I guess there's
Yeah.
sunlight, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, whatever they were trying to do something because they said not enough people could get down to that one that might be in need of using a community garden.
Mhm. Yeah, we do have one, on what, interestingly enough, the southern side of the garden, there's trees 50 feet away, and so there's a lot of shade there, so I try to put people in the sunnier spots,
Mhm.
you know. So. Well, do you think this group at Depot Court wants help with getting a garden together? I mean,
I think they have to get clearance, but I'm sure they would at some point need some help, because
Yeah.
I just figured my sister would call when she wanted like a rototiller or something, if they could come up, if they can get approval, because it's state.
yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
state run, so they have to get approval from somebody, but it would be something, I think, a good project for. Because there are a lot of the people that end up at the food pantry also, but if they were willing to do some, I'm a big advocate. Learn to fish if you don't have anything. Teach them how to fish, and they can start to take care of themselves better.
Yeah.
Rather than always handouts. I just think people should learn how to do something and
Yeah.
feel productive.
Well, I'm thinking, I don't know if this is left field or whatever, but we're talking about the high school kids and trying to get them involved. Maybe we could get some high school kids to go and do some of the physical labor of starting a garden.
Possible.
I was
Yeah.
just thinking that too. As you were saying that, I was like, that's a great idea.
Volunteer credit.
Yeah,
As kids or,
any of their community service hours.
Like the child labor laws and,
Yeah, they do have, well, don't they have to put in, they used to have to put in
Yeah,
community service
they do.
hours.
that,
Do they have,
Yeah.
they still have to do that?
I think so.
isn't that for honor?
the honor society,
Or whatever.
I
honor society
don't know,
kids.
but I know the kids, they used to have to do that,
Yeah,
where they
and
had
the
to put in,
honor society kids do.
Yeah.
For extra points or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
but that would be a good project. I'll see if when next time over there, I'll see if Steve Brzezinski's around, because he's the one that's heading it up, and see if we can see how far away it is, or if there was help, would they be interested in, if we could round up some things to kind of, because that is the hard part, is just getting it going. But even if they had a small plot, it would be something.
Yeah. And maybe again, thinking about people's capabilities, maybe some raised beds. Too, so if you're bending over.
Yeah, there are some people with walkers and stuff there.
No chairs.
Although it's a real mixed bag over there. It's not all seniors.
No.
It's
Okay.
disabled, it's low income. It's not just elderly housing anymore.
Hmm.
Like it used to be. So there are people of all different ages and abilities, but.
Yeah.
I do think there might be some interest, you know, they've already started trying to get things going themselves, so. I think maybe that if they do the first hurdle, you know, maybe they'd be interested in some help.
One thing I would probably say is try and get a survey going to see what they prefer. If some people want it ground level, some people may be interested in the raised bed and stuff. This way you can tally the possibility of what we should aim for. You know, give options.
It would be a good space, certainly for a community service thing, and I mean, other groups that are Boy Scouts sometimes are looking for stuff.
Mhm.
For
Scouts
Eagle
are
Scout,
always looking for stuff.
yeah,
Maybe we should reach out to them for help for Farm Day.
The Scouts,
Mm.
yeah,
yeah, that would be a good group
yeah.
to ask.
Who, I have no idea who's the scout leaders these days.
I think Tom knows people.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know anymore who, all the ones are old that used to be involved in it,
Right.
they're all.
Okay, good. Well, Deb, you're coming up with a lot of ideas for our commission here, so,
Yeah,
He's trying to put us to work.
ask my husband, I'm the idea person. He always go, okay, no more ideas.
We need more work.
Well, then I usually go out and do the work too, but
He's trying to bring back double meetings.
right. No, I want to take a couple months off from that, hopefully.
Not till summer.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see, I guess we're all set with that for now. So anyway, we were talking about the budget, so Saturday, March 8th, 8:35 AM, hopefully some of you guys can be there. You know, it's strength in numbers kind of thing. I mean, it's pretty,
For the budget thing?
yeah, for the budget. I mean, it's pretty
Say
cut and dry.
Saturday.
I mean, it's not like,
I'm stuck in the kitchen.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's not controversial or anything, you know, the budget is really tiny. But,
You said they use Home Depot, but
yeah,
what is the reason they would do that instead of using IBS? since it's a
IBS?
town?
We use IBS too, though.
They used to.
yeah,
I would think it was.
Just change.
IBS
wanna
is
use
usually
somebody
much
in
more
town.
expensive.
No, right.
yeah.
For wood lumber stuff,
Oh,
The
yeah.
lumber is
yes,
so
it's
much
like-
nicer.
we always,
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is, but I just go and pick mine at Home Depot and then I have what I want.
And
I
it's
just
a
like,
lot
I just
cheaper.
feel like since it's a town commission,
Right.
it's
we
nice
should
to
shop
support
local,
a
yeah.
local
Yeah,
business.
the chicken feed at IBS is pretty comparable too.
Sure.
It's pretty good.
Well, I was gonna say a little earlier, so I'm kind of guessing we're not gonna have an egg shortage here in Southwick. Unless the bird flu comes, but I mean, like every other house has chickens.
Yeah.
Oh, mine just popped out 8 today.
There you go.
Every chicken.
Wow, mine aren't quite doing that yet.
Yeah, in the middle of the winter.
Oh, mine
too, what
haven't
do you-
stopped. I
Well,
get
mine
between,
don't stop, but they definitely go down.
I get between 8 and 12 a day.
Is it a first year? Is it your first year with them?
Yeah,
That's why.
yeah.
Usually mine lay
I-
perfect all through the first winter, but then the second winter they start to, and I've got some that are 4 and 5 years old,
I mean,
so
I got a couple that are.
they're on the lazies list.
Do you keep a heated like area for
Oh,
them?
no.
You don't need
They're
heat.
cold.
Matter of fact,
No.
they don't really
You
like.
just
heat.
gotta keep the wind away. That's all you gotta do.
Heat
There's
can
no
actually
breeze.
mess with them.
So the -degree temperature didn't bother
Yeah,
you?
they get a little frostbite on their combs sometimes.
No, but they laid eggs
Mine don't
to it?
even, mine don't even get
You
frostbite.
gotta get the eggs before they freeze. That's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had them freeze for 2 days and they were fine.
No,
Well, I was gonna say, sometimes I've come in with frozen
Oh,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once a great while they'll crack open, but.
Yeah, I just very carefully wash them off and use them right away.
Yeah.
They're gold, you know, don't lose any eggs.
I mean, I'm currently in Vermont and they said that they only have 2 people left that have chickens. And they have a list going back far in their town to actually get eggs now.
Oh,
It is that bad in Vermont.
so there's only 2 egg producers, like commercial.
Yeah.
egg- Huh.
Make a lot of money in chickens right now.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, there's never money in eggs.
Ours are paying for everything right now.
Really?
Yeah,
I wonder if the price of the chicks at Tractor Supply this year will go up.
they are.
Probably.
They are.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, what were they? 2?
If you get day old, they're usually $1.
Oh, wow.
So that's the best ones to get. They drop the price because they're not cute anymore, I guess.
I'm surprised they haven't shut.
Is that where you
I
got
do
them?
too, I was surprised, but Rachel said the sign was up that they were gonna be next week, week of February 17th, the chicks would be coming in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You can order them online too.
Is that where you got yours?
So I bought mine direct from the supplier that Tractor Supply gets them from.
Okay.
They're a little cheaper that way.
I've done it that way before, but you can't get them till later in the season,
Sometimes.
because they'll
yeah.
die and it's too cold right now, they'll die in shipping. They'll never make it through, but they seem to make it to Tractor Supply. I don't know how they manage them, maybe because there's so many of them and,
Yeah,
they've
they
got a
create
bigger
enough heat.
quantity that it keeps them
They come
warmer.
with heat packs too sometimes.
Yeah, cause I've had them come to the house, but I usually don't order them till at least April if they're coming to the house.
Doesn't Tractor Supply keep them in the back for a few days before they put them out?
No, they put them right out.
To see who's not gonna make it.
No, they probably just pluck them out as soon as they die.
Yeah, they do, cause I've been in there
I
with,
thought they held them in the back.
They might
for a
have,
while.
but they don't. They usually sell them like day old, like they don't, a couple days old, no one buys them. I don't know why. They mark them
This
down.
is such a dark conversation right now.
I'd rather get them when they're like 4 or 5 months old.
I'd rather get them older too,
Yeah, rather
absolutely.
than have
The
to
chicken black
take care
market.
of
no, I don't mind them. It's a great school thing for the grandkids. They love when I have the chicks in the house. So I try to get them on either February vacation or April vacation when I know I've got at least one of the grandkids, and I mean, Haley just loves them. She just spends all her time with the little chicks. She's happy as ever. It's like, good.
I was just a minute ago, I was having a little image and chuckling to myself about the UPS truck pulling up and here's a box of chickens.
Yeah.
I've had to go out, usually have to go down to the post.
Yeah,
office
you have to go down to the
and
post office and pick
Yeah,
them up.
whatever, but
When I was a kid, we used to get our bees that way.
yeah, I've heard that
The
too.
post office people they were so fast to call you. The
Oh
minute
yeah, you get that call right.
They
Like
they
chickens.
did not like.
Hear it on the phone.
Oh, they were.
Package
they
has a
would go,
buzz.
"Just came in. Can somebody get them right now?" They just hated having them at the post office.
Okay, so, our master plan item, did you guys have any time to look at our assignments?
I looked at it, I think,
Yeah, I'm wondering,
I don't think I observed too much of it.
yeah, it's a lot of nitty gritty stuff.
Yeah.
And, so I'm almost thinking, should we have a subcommittee or should we have a work session just for that? I mean, it's gonna take some time to go through. We have four or five where we're the lead commission and 34 items where we're the support or commission.
So what are you numbering them? Is that how you're doing it? So we gotta number them and
Yeah, you gotta
boards,
prioritize them, right? For is that what you mean?
but is it divided up for every member? Like the Board of Health was divided up for every member,
Oh,
went separately.
good for
numbered
you. Yeah, no, we haven't gotten that far yet, but that's a good idea.
That's how it was presented. Norm gave it to us,
Oh,
even our secretaries,
oh,
everybody, and everybody went through it on their own. And just numbered them and then pass it into Norm.
oh, I see.
But
So
maybe
you,
you were just was set up differently, I'm not sure.
yeah. And you're talking about the, the document, not actually dividing up the actions and saying,
No, just.
okay, you do this, you do that. It's just the
Yeah. we
prioritizing the
just-
document.
Yeah, ours was just to prioritize,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
everyone turns one in.
yeah. And so everybody just did it on their own.
So yeah, you could probably make it like everyone's homework assignment.
Yeah. Okay, and then we'll see how that,
Or just compile the data at the next
Compile it.
meeting.
yeah. Okay. That's good,
If you want to like send out an email saying. Return this by next meeting.
yeah.
I had a question. so it only shows on the spreadsheet that was sent by emails 1, 2, 3, 4 items, or am I missing something on this page?
There should
I don't
be,
even.
in the Excel document, there should be, I think it's 4 tabs.
Oh,
And-
tabs. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So there's,
one- the,
okay.
where we're the lead, one has where we're the support, and then there's a tab for
Oh, I
prioritize
see.
each one, so.
Okay. Yeah, I see it now. Thank you. Okay. Understood. Okay, that makes sense now. Because I was like, oh, it only looks like there's 4 things. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, okay. And I
Yeah.
know some of the things that we're working on this year is already on there, so
Yeah.
which is awesome. And
Already do-
I thought I was mistaken. I thought the farm hop would be on the agenda today to talk about as a team. But because we were supposed to get back to Kara, but I didn't see it on the agenda, but I'm not sure when we should.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, well, we can.
They're under other matters.
Other matters, right?
yeah, but I know, right? So,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna table the master plan stuff for now. We have a couple of sets of minutes to look at, and I'd like to get those, and then Jen will talk about the farm hop.
okay.
That's okay with everyone? These are, there's 2 sets, so one of each of these things, and there should be some down there.
They got them down there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's one for
Yeah,
January,
I have mine.
January 8th, and then back in
I'm gonna do the older one first.
September 11th, yeah. No, I think Cindy will have a fit if we don't do these. So September 11th. Oh, quick note, I think I've mentioned this, but it talks about this open farm day signs. They're all in the little shed at the town hall now. So they're not in my garage anymore. Farm parade.
It's right out here, this shed out here.
Yeah, yeah, a little,
Way in the back.
yeah.
It's gonna be fun to dig out.
There was one part where you guys, Sage had seconded having Zach be vice chair.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know what to write him as because at that point he hadn't been sworn in as a commissioner. So when I wrote that he seconded it, I just wrote vice chair, I think. Or commissioner.
We're on the September one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right above
You
roll
got-
call vote.
You got my last name misspelt.
Did I put 2 R's?
Yeah,
Ugh, I'm sorry.
it's all good.
And then a few lines down, you have 2 S's in Hanson too.
The extra.
And then do we have your name spelled right, Lenita?
No.
No,
Yeah.
so on the front page, Cindy, it's Lenita with an E.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's like that in a couple
And-
spots.
And only 1 B in the middle.
Oh,
Real B,
Ober, not Bobber.
yes.
Yeah.
It's spelled wrong on the other.
Names are always hard.
Never get mine wrong. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
I find it odd. I try to make my name very easy, and there's not a lot of people who could ever spell my last name right anyway. I always get double R's everywhere I go.
Yeah, so you're furry, huh? You're a furry?
Yep. Literally, everyone always calls me furry.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of September 11th, 2024.
I
as,
second. Oh, sorry.
Jen seconds, okay. So roll call, Bert Hanson, aye. Jen DePietro. Aye.
Aye.
Dan Cook, Lenita
Aye.
Bover, Zach Barnett.
Aye.
And Sage Furry.
Aye.
Okay, now, January 8th, we're better in our memories.
Juanita's name.
We have Lenita. And then two Bs again.
Yeah.
Um, Oh, just a quick note on the plant swap. It's gonna be, I believe it's May 3rd. No, not in April. But this is accurate in terms of the minutes.
And was that taken, that was at the library, right? The plant swap?
It's good, it's gonna be, yeah.
Near the end, there's a double motion on you, Zach. This Commissioner Barnett made a motion and then seconded by you as well.
Yeah, that doesn't work, does it?
No.
No, it doesn't. I'll fix that.
Do we know who did
Do we
what?
know who was who?
Can't believe he's voting for himself.
I mean, I could have done it.
Standard politician.
So Cindy, you're gonna fix
Yeah.
that?
Anything you guys want fixed, I'll change.
Okay. Okay, so I'll make another motion to accept the minutes of January 8th, 2025 as amended.
Second.
Okay, Dan seconds. So Bert Hanson, aye. Dan Cook,
Aye.
Lenita Bober,
Aye.
Zach Barnett,
Aye.
Sage Fury,
Aye.
and Jen DePietro.
Aye.
Very good.
I'll make those corrections and then send that over to the clerk's office, and then we'll be all up to date with everything.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so for some other matters, Jen, you want to talk about the farm hop a bit?
Oh, yeah. I was wondering how the team felt about it. Is it something that we should go forward with? It was just an idea before the forum. What do you have any feelings for it, against it? What are your thoughts?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm totally for it. Yeah.
Aye.
Perfect. So,
We're gonna, let me just give a little update here for Sue and.
oh, yeah.
So we had this idea to, it was actually Jim Putnam's idea. To figure out a way to take people to the, rather than, it was an idea to start another farm market, and we said no. So we're gonna be working with the senior center to use their van. Take folks around to farms. There's quite a few logistical items to take
Yeah.
up, which came up at the forum, like.
Yep.
Seniors have to sign up to do this, and they're gonna wanna do it before lunch, apparently. Stuff like that, and.
Someone's gotta drive them.
Somebody's gotta drive. And I'd really like to make it free, so if it has to come out of the driver has to come out of our budget. I mean, you guys would have to approve that too, but when to get there, but make it free.
Would we drive?
Town
Would we
has
drive?
right?
Oh,
It has a bus, yeah.
I
Find
think the
out.
drivers usually are volunteers
Yeah.
anyways, 'cause
Yeah.
if you look at
We can drive, we just take that
Yeah, I mean,
right out of the,
could one of us volunteer?
yeah.
Is there something we have to like
yeah,
sign to be able to use it?
I
Yeah,
can write that as a question to Kara.
there
Definitely
must-
ask her.
Plus a
Because
couple
usually they
money-
don't
some
pay
money,
the
too.
drivers, when they collect money for the senior events, like, let's say they're all gonna go out to, I don't know, the casino or something.
Yeah.
They, usually whatever they're getting into, the little bit that they give, like $2 to $4 usually, I think
Yeah.
ends up paying, so the driver can go in too.
Mm.
If it wants
Okay.
to go in, but I don't think the driver actually makes money.
Who pays for the fuel though?
I think the fuel is paid through the senior funding stuff to get them out. I
Mhm.
think that's part of it, but I think that's how they usually end up, because it usually does, it'll always say it's, $3 to go, and then lunch is at your own expense or whatever. So I think the little bit they collect is so that the driver could get into places like a play or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't
Hmm.
think they actually pay them.
Yeah.
I think they were volunteer drivers.
Yeah,
So this is what we have so far. We have the input from the forum, which was, okay, so can't really have do we call it a field day? If our idea was bring them to the farms. Well, if it's a hayfield, like one of them said, how do we do that? Do we just drive a tour by them, or have the farmers of that field come out and explain their land to them? That's a logistical item too. So I will come up with a list of farms and then kind of designate them separately as to whether we can have them go on a tour to visit and shop. They don't even have to buy anything, just visit and learn about the farms. We had some great write-ups from Angela about the farms for Open Farm Day. And my idea was to talk about the farms as we're driving to them. I volunteered myself to do the first one. I would go on to the trip with them and talk about the farms as we're driving to them. And we discussed about sponsorship, and I guess Kara was only thinking it would be just the price of gas. So to wherever we go. And I didn't know if it was going to be 1, 2, or 3 farms at a time, or 2. Didn't want to overwhelm them either. So if it's an all summer thing, once a month thing, we can
Mhm.
visit a lot of different places,
Yeah.
So
Are you thinking once a month, Jen, or more?
I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to see how the first one goes, I don't know. Obviously, if we're sponsoring, we have to look at the budget. So I was either once or every other, depending on the season and growth of what they're growing, but they're excited about it. I know that. So my next step would be to go to Kara and tell her what we discussed about it, and come up with a plan, for the first one, so she could start advertising about it. She wants to start by April, kind of putting it out there with like a date, and get people excited about it. So
I wonder if would it be possible to do it for the farm day,
For Farm Day?
run the bus for farm
Yeah.
day?
Yeah, that'd be
we
good. Yeah.
could, yeah. I mean, that was where I was thinking too, because there possibility of just having, how do we get more people to go be able to get around? And,
Multiple buses for that.
Yeah,
yeah. So definitely, that's definitely, that's probably one of the dates that's going to be set up, and on the calendar for them.
yeah. Comes.
That would be nice too, because everybody would be in full swing. There'd be things going on
Mhm.
that they might not be able to attend
Mhm.
normally.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of thinking we start with the farms that have retail operations.
Yeah.
Like Blossoming Acres, Calabrese, Ray's, and just try those out before we start.
It's gonna be pretty hard to get a farmer to go, and here we hay over
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the
Yeah.
That was definitely one of the concerns, you
Physically
know.
too, if there's something, if they can get off,
Right.
if I don't know how many people would be handicapped that, or have canes or walkers, or if it would just be able-bodied, but I mean, there's such a difference at the senior center. I mean, there's people,
Yeah.
you don't have to be very old to go there. And I mean, I know I've gone to some of the classes and, you know, it's very, they have yoga and
Yeah.
dancing and all kinds of stuff that's very active. But those
Yeah.
people drive usually and are out and about. And I'm thinking the people who would go on it might be the people who eat their lunch there or aren't as able-bodied. So getting them off in a place that farms are notorious for being difficult to walk in.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
One
so-
of the things that came up during Open Farm Day was accessibility. That was one of the major things. And so we talked about it and had spaces put aside for that particular reason. But if the farms are open that early, you know, I'm assuming they'll be busy, but yet not as busy, like say on the weekend, you know, and then if they'll have plenty of parking. But I was thinking about Second Eden. I was thinking about, you know, Firefly, and I'd have to go there and see how accessible they are for like I mean, it wouldn't be like a tour. It would be just like them visiting and enjoying themselves, really, you know, and maybe talking to the owner if they're available. If not, then just having them just be able to enjoy a trip, you know.
We'd,
So,
we'd have to be a little careful, I would think, as far as the accessibility goes. Like my place, I have a ramp and everything, but if somebody doesn't, they could cause trouble.
exactly.
Mhm.
There used to be that guy that nailed me and we had to, they used to go around town and nail places.
Oh, right.
Just for the heck of it.
Right.
Yeah,
We were fine.
he did that at the food pantry, I think. They were,
Not really,
yeah,
Yeah.
trying to, you know, make him get a ramp and.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So-
Yeah, definitely a major issue. And I will definitely have that as like number one to talk to Kara about.
Just something we might want to run by town council before we go live with it,
Hmm.
just to cover ourselves.
Yeah.
Piss off some farmers too.
Good. Yeah, we don't want to
Bring
cause,
them over to Firefly and they go, oh, you can't bring these people in. I'm just saying, you know.
Right,
it's
Yeah.
right.
that
Well, they
guy-
would know beforehand if they're,
I don't think he's around. Yeah.
But, you know, someone could have took his place, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
could happen
Yeah.
any
See the
day.
one that made us have all those braille signs outside off the doors here?
Maybe.
I don't know if they're still here, are they?
I think so.
The braille?
Yeah, they are.
Are they? Yeah, I think so, yeah, yeah,
We had to have about 30 handicap spots over here.
yeah.
I think,
Arrow them down.
he was, but I haven't heard much about him for the last, probably in 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
But that's
and then once we, oh, sorry.
how busy the senior center is. I was here today, like late morning. There were almost no parking spaces.
Wow.
It gets that
You
busy.
know,
It
I had to
really
go around
does.
twice to find one.
I mean, depending on the day and what's going on there, it's very, very busy. Last year I went because my sister needed to go to the things and she didn't want to go alone. So I went to some of the yoga classes and they had qigong, they had a whole bunch of stuff. And I mean, those classes are full sometimes. You know, there'll be 20 people in a class. It's crowded sometimes in the things. I was really surprised at how busy it is sometimes. And there's a lot of people that go to lunch there, and then there's a lot of people that get it delivered. So it's actually very, very busy. I was kind
Yeah,
of
my mom used it a lot, too, so, but yeah, so I guess, to finish up on that, I'll talk to the town council first. I suppose, I think that's a great idea to get
Yeah.
input on that.
I think we have to go through the select board on that.
Select board first, okay,
Alert them that
Okay.
we want to use the town council.
okay, all right, yeah, tell me what I need to do, I don't know what they're, like, who to go first. So yeah,
Yeah.
so select board first, and then
Okay.
town council to get, you know, see if this is actually a thing that we can do. And then talk to Kara. I can give her an update though, and say what we're working on and stuff, so that she's not I let her know that we were gonna talk after our first meeting, but I thought our next meeting was gonna be the 8th. And it's
Yep.
12, so, so I should call her and say, hey,
Do we
this
have
is.
a written
we
plan
actually
that
talked
we
about it.
present to the select board and town council?
Not yet.
Probably have that.
We should have some kind of written plan, yeah. Yeah, and maybe lay out, maybe even lay out some dates. I mean, it's a little bit,
I would have to get that from Kara to see what she was thinking, like dates and times on what she was thinking is the best
Yeah.
time. So yeah, sure, I can
we
write
don't
something.
want to compete with yoga class or something that's really
Right,
popular.
right.
Okay,
Too, though, we're a little bit seat of the pants here. This has never been done before.
Right.
So we
right.
gotta do it a couple of times and see.
Do it the right way the first time, right?
That could be
I
part of it.
appreciate all the input because it's good. You
I don't
know,
know if you heard what Zach just said, that that could be part of the plan, that we're gonna start out small and
Yeah.
and then build from there.
exactly, yeah, yep. We just want to see if there's actually interest in it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, see how it
That could
goes.
flop
Just
on us.
Yeah, really. Yeah, nobody signs up, that won't be good.
for it and see where it goes, you know? Okay,
Kara is so excited about it. I think she must be thinking that people will want to do it, you know?
yeah,
And the event only holds 14 people, so, you know.
yep.
I mean, if it got bigger, we could probably run a school bus.
Yeah, that's expensive. We don't
Is it?
have school buses anymore. Lower Pine
Sure.
Valley owns ours.
I got a couple friends that are bus drivers though. They take them home during the day.
Although handling, if you've got 14 elderly people that need to take, your hands are full. That'll take you long enough to get them off.
Yeah, right.
I take my mother,
Right.
I mean, everything, I have to extra planning for time, definitely extra planning, cause it's not moving like you or I would move if we went somewhere. It's everything's
It's where we're
slow.
starting small because we are not sure how it's gonna go. And then accessibility is key. You know, I don't want them to think that we're bringing them there to buy things either. I want them to be able to visit if they don't have a chance to visit these places, you know. But if they are not able to, then, you know, that's a whole nother issue right there. So, you know, I can update Kara and let her know that we talked about it and had these ideas and how the way to move forward with it.
Yep, good. Very good.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for stepping up to manage this for us.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's important, you know, just like the whole education of the children too, you know, like I think it's those two areas that we don't really touch on. I mean, that I haven't really seen. I've seen a lot of families come through their open farm day. I haven't seen a lot of, you know, seniors or teens come through, you know, stuff like that. So, but you know,
Yeah, good.
give it a shot.
Okay, thanks again, Jen. So I don't, we said we're gonna have homework with the master plan items. But I think we're not gonna have a work session on the fourth Wednesday.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. And as you said, we don't need the double meetings necessarily. Okay. And when I send this out, I'll emphasize that everybody really. It's gonna take some time to go through all that stuff and think about what can be done and like when. And it's interesting too, when you look at it, there's some things that are assigned to the open space committee, which there isn't.
Doesn't exist.
Oh,
There used to be.
Are they gonna make it new?
And then.
Didn't they
another-
try to form one, or they were going to try to form one?
Conservation Commission is trying to get that going again. I'm not sure where they are with. But there was, 5 years ago, there was an open space plan. Dennis Clark was.
Yeah.
involved. So anyway. Obviously, those things aren't gonna happen until there's a committee, you know. Okay, so, and Devin Sue, if you are interested, there's a. On the town website, there's a application form to fill out if you wanna. And you need to be appointed by the select board. You also can just send an email. You know, I think they're trying to promote
They want you to use.
doing it online, so that would be better.
Mhm.
We, you know. Deb, I feel like you're already a member here with all these ideas.
It's an easy process. I've been through it a couple times already. So if you have any questions, let me know. I can, if you're interested. It's not too bad. And going in front of the select board, they make it easy too. They're pretty nice.
Members? 7 members?
There's seven commissioners and 5 alternates.
Okay.
So we have 1 commissioner opening and 2 alternate openings.
Do we have any? Current alternate?
Lenita, Tom,
Jessica,
and Jess.
Do either of them want to become full?
Yeah.
Good question. I should have found that.
I'd rather stay an alternate because I
Yeah, could you-
can't do it in the summer.
Yeah.
Here in the winter a lot though.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wondering, Jess might. I think Tom's pretty busy with his kids and
Mhm.
sports and. Spends a lot of time in the van or whatever. But maybe Jess will do it. We'll see. So we'd be happy to have you. If you do want to. Consider joining.
What is the
Pay?
role of an alternate?
I think technically if there's not a quorum of the commissioners, then an alternate. Can vote.
I think it comes down to voting.
Yeah, voting. We're a little casual about it.
We still let you vote it as an alternate.
Yeah.
I don't know if it officially counts or not, but
Alternates vote, so.
I mean, I kind of single-handedly saved so many meetings as an alternate before I was a commissioner.
yeah, I mean, I was.
There were times where we could only get 3 and I'd be the 4th.
Yeah,
I think I told you before they had this commission, there was a group of us that the selectmen appointed to establish the commission.
oh. I don't know if you did tell me that.
It
Oh,
was me and I think the Demcos, Calabrese, Stan Broska, Heidi Cody, and a few other people.
oh,
And I just don't remember. 7 and 5, that's a lot of people.
it is. Doug Mogul loves to say we're the largest AgCom in the Commonwealth. But this was before my time, and in 2006, there it was voted, by town meeting to set up the commission. That's what they voted on, 12 people.
I mean, it is a farming community. It'd be big.
Other towns in Hamilton County have ag commission that's active, or that they know they have one.
Yeah, there's a lot that are not very active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Tammy used to be on, and Granville has an AgCom, but they're not active at all, but they follow what we're doing. So there's somebody out there that kind of keeps track of what we're doing.
Suffield.
Hey,
County,
one other, oh, sorry.
That's
Suffield,
Massachusetts.
yeah, right.
You'd think they
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would think
Well-
Granby,
Granby does. I
Granby,
think,
Connecticut would have.
They have the big
Granby,
farm
they're-
there.
Yeah.
They're pretty active,
We
because they
kinda
have
copied
farm
their farm
tours
there.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder Agawam and Westfield, you would think, a lot of farms. But now find out. That's a good question. And were you gonna say something, Jen?
Yeah, one other difference in the commission alternate, I guess the alternate you have to reapply every year. If you get the full commissioner, it's every 3 years, I believe, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
point.
So that's another difference between the two.
And kind of along those lines, I mean, what's involved, our meetings don't generally run an hour and 40 minutes.
That's a long one.
We've had meetings that were 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of depends what's going on, obviously, so, and then when we
In the
are.
middle of winter, this is pretty long.
Yeah.
Before we had a health director, I remember one meeting was 2 a.m.
Wow.
No
2
way.
a.m.
Why?
When
did
did
it
it
start?
We started at 7.
Oh, my word.
Yeah,
Wow.
and we were meeting every week. That's why we didn't have a health director.
Do you hold the record still?
I
Sounds,
just remember it was
that's big.
awful. And getting up for work the next morning, it's awful.
We're not trying to beat that.
No, that's way. As we.
You need to bring a pot of coffee for that.
Yeah, really.
So we were down in the old building.
Yeah.
Um,
And as you're probably picking up on, our regular meeting is the second Wednesday. When we're busy, like with Farm Day and other and stuff like that, we often meet also on the fourth Wednesday for a work session to address wherever we're up to. But this time of year, as you've heard, we don't really want to do that. So
I think it depends also how many people we actually have active. Because the more you can get done with, the more people you have.
Yeah.
We were double shifting because we had like maybe 4 people each meeting.
yeah.
True.
So those 4 who showed up, we took advantage of them. Okay, any other questions, comments for the good of the order? Anybody? Okay, then, I'll make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
We don't do a roll call for that.
I
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the good input.